Hello. Hello. It's time for another incredibly exciting Gambeson sewing session. Just to review, I'm making a Gambeson. For some inexplicable reason, I'm making a Gambeson. Anyway, hello, all of one viewer. Thank you for coming. I'm going. Let me see. I've got the sleeves done, and I started with the right breast. Father's Day is in it's the day after tomorrow. If I'm gonna have it done, this is gonna be like a 2.5 hour stream of just me sitting here rambling and spewing nonsense at you whilst putting thread through a U-Haul blanket that I'm essentially recycling. So, yeah, thrilling, absolutely enticing content here. PewDiePie wishes he could have my skill level. Oh, I'm so tired. I got done exercising today. It's like the fourth time I've exercised in like 2 months, and I'm already feeling. Of course, that also comes from the fact that I ate. Hello, second person. Welcome. I'm Endymion from the Dork Arms, etc. And this is Gambeson Part 2. The thrilling sequel. Can you imagine if Christopher Nolan directed this stream? He was sewing. Blah. He was sewing some more. Blah. Like, what the fuck, Chris? Why? Don't give false advertisement to the people. They know what they're getting when they click on this. Well, they left. Second person left. That makes sense. I should just stick to what I'm good at, which is recitation. All in all, this is not a particularly great length of string, so I'm probably going to get a whole 5 inches out of it on this, but I have to make a itty bitty little knot on this end. I have to make a little knot. Also, the mustache is just not a great look, but I'm keeping it for until Summerween, which I'm doing. I'm doing a little Summerween thing. So I'm gonna be streaming. Well, excuse me, I am not going to be streaming these movies. I am going to be live streaming my reaction to these movies. And they are all on Netflix: Shutter Island, The Ritual, and what's the last one? The Forest. So I have seen The Forest, and I have seen the ending to Shutter Island because my sisters watched it one time, and I do know the ending to The Ritual, but I've never watched these movies. Very different experience. If you know the stuff, creates a sense of dread, I think. If they're good, that is. Hitchcock's comments on suspense really do apply. Because if you just have a clown come out and kill someone, you're surprised once, but you haven't really made any tension. Tension. Like in a string. That wasn't a good joke. No. This is so insanely tedious. I do wish I had a sewing machine, but then that's like $200. That's like $200 sometimes. You know what I could get for $200? So many pudding cups. Just so many pudding. More shirts. I could get clothes for $200. I could pay my rent. I don't pay rent right now. But because I'm back at my parents' for the summer. Oh yeah. It is satisfying though. Tying the knot onto another knot, the pre-existing knot, is kind of satisfying. Not quite make a YouTube stream satisfying, but it's a thing, you know. It's not really, but eh. So I've been reading this book. I'm gonna do a book review about it sooner rather than later because I'm reading about a chapter a day. I should probably read more, honestly, because it's a short book. It's Gods of Shade and Shadow. Shade, Jade, Jade and Shadow. If you haven't heard of it, it's all right. It's not the best. Having recently just finished Lord of the Rings, there's a yeah. Uh, it's a thing. I will say though, modern literature, or shall I say, contemporary literature, has something that literature from Tolkien's time does not have. That is uh interest. It has my interest. Tolkien just loves to take things slow and everything. And it's okay to take things slow. It's like I love a good slow burn romance, you know, or slow burn horror, my old friend Draculae. Okay, that didn't go so well. The really annoying thing about Lord of the Rings, though, is that God forbid you criticize it, because the fandom will just like my in-laws are so into Lord of the Rings. Ah, I love the movies. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I, the books are not as good. Uh, I'm gonna say that right now because I think there's a lot of pretentiousness when it comes to reading Lord of the Rings. Like, oh, I read Lord of the Rings. Same thing with like Crime and Punishment or what's it called? War and Peace. War and Peace sounds like the most boring book. Like, it's sincere realism, but it's also just absurdly boring. Just, it's does not sound like my cup of tea at all. And it doesn't have to be. See, that's the thing with like classical literature or great classic work of literature or really any art. You don't have to get it. You just have to appreciate what it does and what it did, like how it affected art in that genre or in that movement. As a student, I mean, like if you are yourself an art student and you don't think Michelangelo is good, which is objectively wrong, because he had skill, but whether or not it moves you emotionally is an entirely different subject. Thing is, I'm not going to lie about this. You aren't obligated to like the classics. Nobody is. So if anyone says you don't get it, well, yeah, and I don't have to. But if I don't get it, that's not like a fault. That's just the art hasn't necessarily aged as well as you think it has, to me. But of course, God forbid you disagree with modern academia, right? There was something recently, though. So I saw a couple posts, I think on Tumblr and on Instagram, about this Norse goddess, Lothan. Lothan is considered by many scholars of Norse studies to be an epithet for uh, Odin or Odin's wife, Frigg, because Lofan is, etymologically speaking, linked with numerous women's names. The uh, Lofan as a word or as a root shares the same root, if I'm not mistaken, or common. Oh, this is annoying. It's related to words like comforter. Jesus. The one thing, though, is that people have taken Lufan's jurisdiction, her divine occupation, if you will, which is marriages, the officiating of marriages, even those that are forbidden. They've taken that and said, gay girl boss, which is like, yeah, fair. But if you then say that this is what the Vikings saw, the Vikings were very, very hypermasculine. And even then, no culture is a monolith. So it's way more complicated than just, no, you're making things gay that weren't gay. It's like, no, no, queer erasure is a serious thing that modern academia has to deal with. But at the same time, if we rainbow wash, if you would, we can lose the nuance sometimes. Oh, come on. Okay, well, this is annoying. But I don't want to make this sound like I'm sick of pride or whatever. Oh, what are the gays doing? Like, no. We just need to engage in critical thought when we're talking about these historical sources. And it's likely, given the archaeological evidence, that Lufan was indeed a goddess that officiated a few same sex marriages. But we don't have the evidence for that. We don't have evidence that that was widespread. Now, people have been people for as long as that's been a concept, for as long as personhood has been a thing that people contemplate. So, it's reasonable to assume that there was probably some gay Vikings. But in academia, making assumptions without any evidence, it's purely speculation and it can't be taken seriously. So the whole issue of Lofan is very, very complex. You have academics on one side who can be accused of homophobia, and then you have the LGBT plus community, and in particular those of the us true faith, or those who are, some other form or branch of modern New Age neo-paganism, as I used to be. Who are then accused of ahistorical stupidity. And it's like, yeah, you can have both be true and you can have both also be wrong in certain respects. Like, it's more complicated. It's more complicated than just, was it gay? Was it not gay? It cannot be gay. Yes, it can. Anything can be gay if you make it gay. But then, of course, arguing historically, was it gay? That's an entirely different subject. Now we're finally getting into the sewing part. Hooray! The thrilling main event. Oh man, what is this channel? Okay, I might be able to get to that shoulder. I can't do double back, I don't think. The one thing I'm worried about this Gambeson, I'm worried that if I am too far in towards the center of each piece, that I will be sacrificing the space that my father's fat ass limbs are going to need. He's not very fat, but he's got dad bod, not like hot dad bod. Also, I wouldn't be the one to make that call. That's kind of sick. Anyway, eeh. Now the other thing is if I'm too close to the edge, the threads are going to like get torn out with stress. So I have to double back with a thread. Preferably a single thread doubling back on its own route, as it were. So I hate it how I don't get these things aligned correctly. Because I've already effectively fucked it up. Ow! But that's okay. I'm not a screw up. These are just happy little accidents. I don't know why you're here. I guess you find it relaxing or enjoyable that someone is cathartically sewing. I don't know. That's your business. I'm not going to make fun of you for that. But you can. You are fully obligated to make fun of me. Like this, if you don't, at least to yourself, I would seriously question your sense of humor. Now, why did I say that? That was an asshole thing to say. I'm not going to lie. That was an asshole thing to say, both to me and to you. Self deprecation is trendy. I don't know, maybe you're a therapist and you're getting a file on me or something, or you're a stalker, or you're a pedophile. I don't know. See, that's another thing. I probably shouldn't have said that. But it's okay, because it's just speculation based on zero evidence. But also, I don't know if that little one icon is me. I don't know if, like, it's counting me. I don't think it is. But then do I want people to actually see this? Like, this is me talking about my own family issues and everything whilst sewing. If somebody I know, if somebody I knew watched this, I'd probably be embarrassed. But then it's like, what's to be embarrassed about? That I'm a man sewing? What is this chauvinist fuckery? Pardon my language. But, and I do have to speak low, in spite of the microphone, in spite of the microphone's proximity, because I am not alone in this house. I have parents who are reasonably irritable. They're not any more irritable than, say, a hippo with a hernia. But it's good to be cautious. Be cautious. Gotta be careful. Gotta be cautious. Gotta be a croissant. I really don't want to be a croissant. My mom hates it when I say it like that. Croissant. It sounds pretty disgusting, I bet, in the mic. But it's not a high quality mic, so who cares, right? It's very weird. This is just a weird. Stop moving. So wait, I'm not talking to anything. There's nothing there. I think one of the books moved or something. And normally, if I'm doing this kind of shit, I'm like listening to music, but I can't listen to music live streaming on YouTube because of copyright. But it could be worse. It could be worse. Eeh. So I do think I will be able to double back a little bit. If there is one thing I regret about this Gambeson, it would be not working on it sooner. That's always the problem, though, isn't it? It's like, oh, I didn't start early enough on this project. Maybe. Or maybe you didn't have that motivation at the time, and that's okay. Like, I don't know your situation. As far as I know, you're not intimately familiar with my own, although I am certainly making that change. Certainly giving you the ammunition. But it's just a strange thing, you know? Selling a Gambeson for a person that you used to love who will probably never appreciate this. Oh god, what if the one person watching this is my dad? Oh shit. That's real fucked up. See, this is the reason why I can't ever share my videos, because then I'll like complain about family on here or something, or I'll say something, or I'll be wearing something like, how dare you wear Black Sabbath? Like, oh, it's blasphemy. I think it certainly would be interesting if my dad were indeed secretly watching my YouTube videos. That wouldn't exactly be something that he'd do, though. He would tell me, hey, buddy. It's like, dad, I'm not 5 anymore. It's like, I know about you trying to kick in mom's ribs that one time, so, buddy, no longer works. No longer applicable. N/A. I'm getting close to the end here. I was able to double back. Wow! That's what happens when you use your thread wisely. Now, I would triple back. That's gonna have to be a different thread, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? What am I, British street boy or something? I don't know. Let's go here. Oh, this is gonna look weird. Running out of string. So I should probably get to that knot pretty soon. Really reminds me of the Grinch. This is not pudding. What is it? It's an old joke. I feel like that's a vaudeville joke, you know? Well, wooden leg named Smith. What was the name of his other leg? Ha ha ha. You know, that kind of walnut. Or chestnut, whatever nut you prefer. Okay, this is gonna have to be the end. It's the end, my friend. Sybil Baker. What a good singer. I love her songs. I just know the one album of hers, Sybil Baker. If you want to check her out. God damn, she's good. Okay. Now, I hope the string stays together. Nope. Okay. That's okay. I can work with this. Hopefully. We're back to that thrilling adventure of man with meaty hands tying tiny knots. It feels like a deleted SNL character. Like for one skit. For just 35 cents a day. I like Bill Hader. He's a good character actor. I suppose all actors are character actors when you think about it. They're supposed to be. You embody the character. You present. That was weird. I don't know what that was. Also, I'm looking at the screen and not the camera, which is also weird. Do you want me to stare into the camera? Stare directly into your soul. Directly into your soul. I have no idea what that sounds like. It's probably just really breathy, like. People breathe into camera is amusing. Is very amusing. Oh no, I lost the nut. Oh no. This is not fun. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What I need is my legs. I have legs. I'm not going to give you any foot shots, though. Don't be asking for this. Basic internet etiquette. Don't be a douche. Don't ask for foot shots. Of course, if you have a foot fetish and the other person has a different kind of foot fetish, I guess it's okay if you're both consenting adults. But, like, why? I wonder if podiatrists, not pediatricians, that's like child doctor. Like Doogie Howser. Sorry, no. That's an old reference, Jesus. But, I have a butt. You have a butt. Do you? Do you have a butt? I presume you do. Sorry that I didn't upload any poetry this week. I've been trying to deal with my housing issue the next semester. See, if I don't find an apartment, I'm homeless. I probably should stop doing that. This is a weird ass experience, though, you know? This is just weird. Being an adult. Like, this isn't really something that school prepares you for. It's not like they teach you how to do what? A resume. What? That's it. Resume. The mitochondrion is the powerhouse of the cell, and 1453 was the year that Constantinople fell. Istanbul, Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul. I want to learn that. I want to learn how to play that on guitar. I play guitar, by the way. Not well, but I play it. I can do a few basic strums. I play guitar. No, you don't. You strum a couple of hick songs. Istanbul, Constantinople. Istanbul. Now it's Turkish Delight on a moonlit night. As you can see, I'm not a very good singer. So if you have a date, Constantinople shall be waiting in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. Where did it go? I need to get the knot below the knot, because otherwise I'm screwed. Mm, tweezer time. Fuck. That didn't work out. Okay, well, I guess that's good. This'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it none. Alright, scissor time. It's a scissor time when you look like a lion. You can jump right in and touch the sky. Beat out, oh, dee down, doo doo. Right, so we've got. Nope, I missed. Hello, I'm the next Star Wars extra. Not terrible. It's a whole 30 minutes to do like 8 inches. That's what she said. Get it? 'Cause sex is funny, right? I almost dropped my needle into my water. That could have gone very, very badly. Oh, Lord. Fuvadate, Constantinople. Should be waiting in Istanbul. I'm going to make this a really long piece because I am going to do the collar. And shoulder. So the way I'm gonna fix the sleeve onto the shoulders, each sleeve onto each shoulder, is gonna be with leather loops. These loops are already made, but I'm gonna cut them so that I can fit these through holes that I'm gonna poke through this. Yeah, and the back piece. I've got the two breast pieces and I've got the back. And when? Let me see, is that long enough? Yeah, that'll be long enough. Uvadate, Constantinople should be waiting in Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. I was a choir kid for 3 years. Oh yeah. Only thing I learned was turn 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 it was annoying. And then we would sing like you're gonna catch a cold from the ice inside your soul. It's a very melodramatic song, but it's genuinely pretty good. I missed the needle. Best to put the threedle through the hole. Press the needle. Ah! I could have stabbed my leg. What do you want to do? Try to kill me? What are you trying to do here, boy? Looks like Endymion getting ideas, isn't he? I'll try. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Change it, I can't say. Eh. That's the easy bit. I've got to go over. The other side. Turn the single thread into a knot again. Aha, I have one tiny knot. I'm trying to give as much string as I possibly can to the actual part that'll go through in front of the knots, rather than behind them. Mother is currently on the phone, which makes me happy that I don't have a terribly good mic, because that means y'all, and I don't just mean you, good viewer, but I also mean the creeps who might, like, just find this just to be creepy. You've met guys like this. And I use guys in the gender neutral sense, like in the same way that we say dude or bro, which is weird. Again, such a tedious, obnoxious task, but I honestly don't know why I'm doing this. Logically speaking, I know that I'm almost certainly not going to spar with my dad before I'm, like, ever at a HEMA Institute. And you can't bring, like, homemade bullshit to one of these institutes. You're not bringing your own homemade thing unless it's, like, to the same standards as the sparring equipment which we use. Like, yeah, obviously. Safety, effectiveness in simulating armed combat and whatnot. But it's just so very, very, very difficult. Because I want to have that connection with him. I guess that's the real reason I'm making this, is I just want to connect with my dad again. I want to feel like he's my dad. I haven't felt that way since I was like 8. Oh, that's not true. 10 or 12, probably. It's not quite the time when you learn how flawed your parents really are. That's when you start, you know? It's when it all goes to shit. It's your teenage years. Because you're getting self-aware. Self-aware and empathetic. But neither of those things are bad. Merely in how you deal with subsequent problems. That's where the issues arise. And of course, how you're taught what you're taught by the people in your life. So we are the products of our genetics and of our environment. Go. Oh, that sucked. But I can fix it. Can we fix it? Hopefully, yeah. A lot of adjusting these knots. You gotta tug, you gotta tug, you gotta tug. And still, it's just, I don't know. I haven't really felt like I've connected with my sisters in a long time. Like, even when I used to be Catholic, I would talk to my sister. I would talk to one of my sisters to clarify. I would talk to the very, very Ubermensch Catholic sister. But I wouldn't be able to talk to her to anything. Like, I wouldn't be able to talk about how fucked up I feel. Just constant frustration, powerlessness. Because her response is always like, well, maybe you should pray about it. It's like, that doesn't fucking help. I'm not going to talk to some imaginary man in the sky. Agnostic. I want there to be something, though. I do. But, there's no evidence, and me wanting it to be true doesn't make it true. Shit. What's even more annoying beyond that, though, is that at least prayer is like a comfort. Just saying suck it up or well, that's life, that doesn't help. But I know that's what I get from the rest of my family. Excuse me. No legitimate help on like how to deal with that. Excuse me. It's a very carb heavy lunch. I exercised and then I had eggs with ground pork. Egg whites, I should say. Egg whites with ground pork. An English muffin, one half with butter, one half with blackberry jam and chunky peanut butter. On some broccoli. I was like, gas. Gas. Yeah. TMI, I know. Oh, so close. I just combined 2 out of the 3 nuts. Now, if I just do this correctly. Been reading a lot about alchemy lately. On my Tumblr, I actually started doing a series that dove into the IRL grimoire traditions from Europe. Shit. To investigate Vivzi Pop and her inspiration and the possible source material. But other people are already doing that and doing it better, like on full-fledged YouTube channels. So what the fuck am I doing? I'm just there's no point to me doing that. Like what, to show off that I know this shit? I combined them, now we have a super nut. I think one more go and that'll be it. But I do want to do different series on my Tumblr where I'm exploring the philosophy in the IRL, quote unquote, IRL alchemy, to talk about Full Metal Alchemist, because I love Full Metal Alchemist. It's a great little franchise. I suppose I shouldn't say little, it has a huge fan following. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go watch Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's on Netflix. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's the greatest. God, I'm not going to do my Trump impression. God, that'd be bad. I don't like my Trump impression. Sounds a bit too much. It's not good per se, but it's like better not. It's one of those things where it's like I can do it. Should I? The answer is usually no. For me, anyway. But who knows? I really feel like I should get a better microphone. If this is going to be like a thing that I do where it's like I'm working on a craft project and doing a live stream whilst venting, I gotta get a better mic. Cause this does not work very well. Well, I mean it works okay, right? Yeah. I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh boy. Mm. Wait, that's how much I have? Fuck. Whoopsie. Don't think I did enough. Oh no. Not enough for double back. I don't know. But I surprised myself last time, so entirely possible that I'm just wrong and I'm underestimating myself and this string. I can imagine this string is trying to encourage itself. I can go the distance. No, you can't, sweetie. You're a string. That one was way too close to the hem line. Whatever it's called. The Hemingway line. I think that's the other cool thing about a sewing machine is consistency. Because, like, I'll go too close to the center, then I'll overcompensate on the next go around by going too damn close to the edge. I'm on the edge with you. I can't remember who did that. Was that Lady Gaga? I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on this moment with you. I'm on the edge with you. I used to like that song. I used to like pop music. And then I became a jazz musician. And then I hated it. And now I like it again. Which is weird that I like purged that from my life. Like, why? Just to fit with some fucking saxophonist nerds? To be fair, they were some of the hottest, like, people. So yeah. There's always that. Oh god, what if people from my high school find this? Ugh. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to deal with those fuckers. People in my high school were assholes. At work the other day, I thought somebody we had, one of our patrons, one of our patrons, it's not how you say it. I thought that it was my ex-girlfriend and I was panicking. Then on my next, like, pass, going through to the other side of I work in a restaurant, so I was passing on to the kitchen. You know, I scanned the table for, like, glasses and whatnot. And then I was like, good, it ain't my girlfriend. But I just stared at this small human for like 10 whole seconds to figure that out. Oh, goody. Oof. Oh, I made a mistake. This feels blasphemous to like try to correct it. Oh no. Come on. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, I corrected the thing. Oof. Just gonna go through that same hole. Which sounds a little dirty. Getting a sexy knee shot, eh? I'm obviously not a good streamer, but that's okay. I don't have to be great. I just have to be good enough to feel like I am doing it. And I don't have to be the best. I just need to keep improving. And even if my improvement and the road to improvement means that I stagnate at some points or that I plateau, that's just how it goes. Which is difficult to accept. I'm dealing with that with guitar and trombone. I'm having to relearn trombone. But that's what happens. Just gotta practice and practice intelligently. I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make is I have to practice more. If I just practice more, then I'll be better. No, you gotta practice smarter, not harder. Even if you're only doing like 20 minutes a day, 3 or 4 days a week. I mean, that is not enough time, but you really need to make it count. So, like, what are you doing? Like, are you are you working mostly on facility? Are you focusing on a song? Ow. Now I know why people wear thimbles when they sew. What was I just talking about? Yeah, stagnating in art. That happens. Look at Van Gogh. Look at Da Vinci. In some cases, in many cases, they found an art style. They stuck to it. Oof, that's not good. That's tearing. But people find what they're good at, and they stick to it. They find what they enjoy, and they stick to it. That's a difficult thing to do because once you get into a particular skill, it's easy to compare yourself to the people around you, like your teachers, your peers who have been at it for years on end. Started doing that in my drawing class. We were doing charcoals, and I'd be like, "Hey, I made a line," and everybody else is like, I'm just working on the contour of this one section, and it looks 3D. It looks fuzzy, cute, and these slippers are real on the page." And it's like, I'm gonna skip the shoelace because it's too hard. It's like, fuck. But you can't always compare yourself. It's good to be able to have balance. That's the thing. You can't not look at the grades, but you also can't avoid the shit. You have to consume the good and the bad of your art or craft because the good stuff tells you by example where you can improve. The bad stuff shows you where it's so easy to fuck up. That's something I think it's very difficult for me to take when it comes to drawing, when it comes to music. I might be able to finish the double back on this. Woohoo! But, you know, I've just struggled with that basic concept of balance as an artist. And it's difficult because it's like, no, I'm in the groove. I'm going to make everything right now. Or you have like 15 goddamn projects, and none of them are going to get finished because it's so overwhelming. It's like the thing in my head is so much better. I've talked about this. The thing in my head is so much better than whatever I could actually create. And then I take that as a incentive to not work on it rather than practice and work up to it. Ba-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Now I'm the king of the swingers, jungle VIP. I reach the top and had to stop, and that's what's kind of have to quiet down because my parent is out and about. Welcome to my ASMR session. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard. It's a hard. It's a hard. It's a hard rain gonna fall. Ow. Okay. Now the parent's out and about. Okay. Ew. It's mustache hairs. Gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe that it came from you. Gonna write words so sweet. Gonna knock me off of my feet. Ow, fuck. I think I messed up my system. I definitely messed up my system. Eek. I can't imagine how labor intensive this must have been. But then again, the folks making this could have had an entire day to do this. And just nothing else to worry about, nothing else to work on. Just this. Literally just this. Hmm. Anyway, so yeah, on my Instagram, I'm gonna be doing Summerween. However, after I watch The Ritual and after I watch The Forest, I'm gonna be doing videos here on YouTube. And I'll probably just like share the link honestly onto Instagram for explanations of just little quick explorations and explanations. Got quite a bit left. Let's continue. But after The Forest, going to talk about Japanese ghosts, demons, and such. And after The Ritual, I'm going to give 5 points about Norse mythology, and I am excited for that one because I get to talk about Mordor, uh, who most likely, like etymologically, that name could just be like add an M onto Hodor, or uh, give a little change the ending to Thor's son Modi, who more accurately would be Morvi. It's just a whole thing. Of course, I'm not an expert. I do not have a PhD. I am not the resident academic. I am quite simply a nerd. I am simply a nerd who likes nerdy shit. Okay, I think this is where we're gonna cut, because last time was Deuce of a Bother. Johnson proved Deuce of a Bother. My Nessus gave its fits. My Nessus gave us fits and boring me disagree. For Richmond is a hard road travel, I believe. See, now my hands are shaking, which is annoying. And we're back to the knots. And I gotta finish this half of the breast, this right breast, followed by the whole of the left breast, sewing the back. Well, Actually, I do think I will probably have to sew. Tomorrow is chore day. So, like, shit gets weird. This has effectively lost all of its flavor, all of its appeal. But you're still hanging on, so thank you. I appreciate that. Urgh. Expand the loop again. I've always found mythology to be very interesting. So the whole thing with uh, Lufan and watching the ritual with Mordor, it's good shit. It's good shit. There is, I can't remember if his name is Michael Crawford, Jackson Crawford. But just Google, like on YouTube, I guess, Crawford Norse or Crawford uh, Loki, because he's a professor of Norse studies, Colorado University, which you would not expect the Old Norse dude to be in Colorado. But fascination is not regionally segregated, so. But he's got a lot of really great videos. You should definitely check him out if you're interested in Norse mythology or Norse history. Just like Vikings. You know, Helgar went off to war to raid, and then the snowstorm hit. We lost the porch, but we need the porch in the winter. Stuff like that. I do think I'm not going to have this done. There's only so much sewing that I can do in a day. It's so insanely obnoxious. But then again, what else am I going to do? I guess I could practice guitar or read. Hello! There's just. I'm kind of sore, kind of achy. I'm not in my ship-shap shape. Ship-shap shape. That's a weird phrase. Not gonna use that. You can use that. I give it to you freely, good person. I almost said good sir, but I was like, you might be a woman, you might be non-binary, who cares? I do. I do. Very interesting. It'd be an interesting way to like take a snapshot of people on stream like doing this and be like, a study in foreshortening. How that works. It was always very interesting. Oh, eh. This is the thing. I don't have like a platform on which to do this. I'm not gonna sew in my room. That wouldn't be manly. Le croissant. Man, I feel like every time I do this, it just gets more and more boring. I know what to expect now is the thing. I thought it was like, "Oh boy, can't wait to see how this will go." Now I know how it goes. Very slowly. Ugh. I do have a gift for my father, though. Just, knowing that I will not finish this book about the Shannara Chronicles. It's like a guide thing. One of those supplementary books that the nerds get, you nerds. That's looking all right. Then now am I going to do this straight line? It seems easier. It won't be. Inevitably, it won't be. But then I also got to punch holes through for like the big brass buttons that I got. Big brass buttons. Better than a big brass butt, I guess. Ugh, I don't know though. I don't know. Shall I continue? That's your gig. Your dice. What does that button do? What does this do? Oh, it mutes me. Is that what it does? Does it mute me? Huh. What is send feedback? That's it. Okay. Well, yeah, I might as well get this done. What is it? It's almost 2. I'm about halfway through my battery. Yeah. Yeah, we can do this. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. Who cares, right? If you've been here for so long, you'll be here for the end, my friend. Anyway, yes, this is a mattress. I don't know why I told you that. I think you're intelligent enough to identify what a mattress is. Back to the stage. How you doing? I've talked your fucking ear off. How are you? Do I have to make this an extra long? Cut it off right there. But really, how is you? Would love to hear. Partially because I feel guilty for taking up so much of your time. But sometimes that's how it goes. Finding it increasingly difficult to enjoy the process, but you know, I'm the only person making me do this. Literally, my dad did not ask for this. He's kind of weirded out when I asked for his measurements. I was like, "Oh, it's for a suit." It's like, no, it ain't. What suit? The wedding was months ago. Let me see. It's been almost a year since I started this project, actually. Yeah, just about. But time moves on. Okay, there's one song at work that's just so shitty. I don't know if you're typing up your response to "How are you?" or if y'all just sitting there. Your choice. But there's one song that bothers me so incredibly much. Like, we play mostly really bad country music, but every so often, some psychedelic rock just happens to come on, and it's all bad. I don't like psychedelic rock. That's not music. That that's not musical to me. And I know it's just like, oh, you're a jazz musician, you're being pretentious. Like, yeah, I'm allowed to be pretentious. It's not good. There is, however, it's just it keeps the song just has like one lyric. Do 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 do. And time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. And there's another one that the same band does. I know because I recognize the god awful vocalist. And it's like, one last dance with Mary Jane. One last something to kill the pain. So bad. It's like, boss, I know you're trying to be hip. It's not working. And that's not like the vibe of the restaurant. The vibe of the restaurant is Hickville. So stick with the country music. Or do classic rock. Don't do psychedelic rock. God, this isn't like physically draining, it's emotionally draining. Which is weird to say because it's literally just not. Just knots and pushing a little needle through some cloth. Do one more loop after this, and I'll call it on this end. Yep, one more. I don't know how my family would feel about hearing me talk about them behind their back. To be fair, though, they gossip and talk behind my back. They talk behind everybody's back. Ack. Okay, so that went off kilter, so we're just gonna do one more. It's like when you're eating potato chips. One more, eats it. One more, eats it. One more, eats it. One more. There. Now we can begin on this final part of the third of like five, 8 pieces on this Gambeson. So I still have to do, I have a high collar piece that I'm just gonna like, oh yeah, fuck. Oh god. All of these pieces are just strewn about haphazardly in this room. But no pain, no gain. guess. So it has begun. Again, I really don't know what you see in this stream. There are far better streamers out there, but thank you. If you're really there. You know the one thing that bothered me about Gilligan's Island? This just came to mind randomly. The professor, if the professor is smart enough, if the professor is smart enough to make like bamboo and coconut cars that they're pedaling around like the Flintstones or something, he can't make a signal fire or something? And they must get real sick of fish. Because that's really all you have. I don't think there's ever a monkey. Oh, there is one episode where it's like there's a wild boar that they're trying to kill. So I guess every now and then. Every now and then there's something to spice up the cuisine. But knowing that there's a millionaire and his wife. If you're not familiar with Gilligan's Island, I can indeed sing the theme song for you. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip. It started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. Thunder and lightning. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship set ground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too, a millionaire, and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne, here on Gilligan's Isle. And the outro, if I remember it correctly, I can't remember. I know the end is like Robinson Crusoe, it's primitive as can be. Primitive as can be. So join us here each week, my friends. You're sure to get a smile from 7 stranded castaways here on Gilligan's Isle. We used to watch that with my dad. We'd, like, hook up his computer. We thought it was so high tech. Little did we know. Oh, indeed, indeed. What sweet summer children we were. Except for me, I was the little devil. I was always a little bit of a prick. For all I know, you could be like an anthropologist. Be like, studying how the internet rots your brain. Oh, I don't even know if there's actually someone there, though. I know there had to be people earlier because it, flickered up to 3, I think. Oh, excuse me. Oof, it's in my hair. Oh, jeez. Gilligan's Island had a couple of really weird things on there. Like they put on a talent show for a talent scout. They did Hamlet or something. Can't remember what they sang, but my dad used to sing it all the time. You can probably find it on YouTube. It's the magic of the internet. People preserve the weirdest shit. Like this right here. Wonder if anthropologists will find this in the future and they'll be like, oh, yes, an interesting case study. Probably won't. But you never know. If anthropologists do indeed sort through stuff, it'll probably be like the most popular shit. Anthropologists will be like, yes, and there was a great anthem, Mr. Beast 10,000. Whoa. He seems like a cool dude. Came up from basically just your average Joe. Do not care for his stupid PewDiePie fanboyness, though. But then again, who cares? You're allowed to like what you like. That, I think, is something that I don't like about cancel culture. Because on the one hand, you have people who genuinely do want to hold the mistakes of influencers and celebrities accountable. You hold these people accountable. Other times, though, it's just shaming the wrong people uh, and treating those individuals like they're completely irredeemable. But then the critics of cancel culture sometimes are very legitimate in saying, hey, there's a problem here. And others, it's just like Fox News bullshit. Talking about, oh, cancel culture on the left and blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut up. You being, your racism being pointed out is not cancel culture. But then again, so much of it manifests as like, let's harass someone off of Twitter. No, don't harass people. That's just a basic guideline of life. Even if you don't like what they say, what they do, don't harass them. Because for all you know, you could be wrong. Or on the other hand, if they are indeed wrong people, then you're giving them like a martyr story. This is why I look at certain fantasies, not necessarily of the fantasy genre of fiction, but just people like saying, I wish I could kill X and X or whatever. Why? You would be making them a martyr in the most literal sense. They would rally more supporters behind that. Nothing sells like a martyr. Ew. I am running out of string. probably might not make it to the end, but you never know. And that's okay. Also, I'm getting pretty sweaty because I've just got this U-Haul blanket, double, just two layers right on top of my legs and whatnot. And I'm pushing this needle. Oh, yes, what a terrible exertion pushing a needle through cloth. Oh! But I'm just already tired. Already not in the best way, physically. Let alone emotionally, but like. But anyway, what was I saying about Gilligan's Island? They had to get sick of fish because you've got a movie star, professor, a millionaire, and his wife. These are all probably, you know, Juilliard Ivy League snobs who are used to, getting a certain degree of pampering. But they've also basically lost all of that. It's like how much of their actual like standard attire will they have brought? And over the wear and tear, however few items they brought on a tour boat, what will they have brought with them? And how long will those clothes last? Probably not very long. I'd love to see an SNL skit if SNL were ever good again. Every now and again, they have like, ow, they have a decent skit or really out of this world performance. Like Career Day is just great. Just grind his bones into the earth. Oh, that's good. That's good. Adam Driver is just. It's really sad what the Star Wars movies, the sequels. I'm sorry. They're just. I appreciate what they were doing with Last Jedi. I still don't enjoy it very much. And Rise of Skywalker was just bad. We can all agree. It was just bad. I think I may make it to the end after all. I think I've got just enough. Excellent. I'm not measuring any of this. It's just like, oh, that's enough string. Sure. Just eyeball it all the way. The other problem is when things come out really lopsided. Something a sewing machine doesn't really have problems with because it's a machine. Can you tell I don't like this anymore? This old fucker better appreciate this. He won't. You will. You won't. I don't know. I think I've got enough to triple back. Like Nickelback. Only good. I've given so many opinions that could very easily send you running or whatever. That's gonna get torn out. This is very difficult. Now, if I wanted to make this interesting, I would do this in the nude. Not gonna do it in the nude. Not unless you pay me. Haha. No. I ain't gonna do that shit. I do remember finding a video. This is how big of an incel I was. And I was. I don't take pride in that, but I do need to clarify that at some point. This is how much of an incel I was when I was in middle school. I found a video of a woman stripping whilst asking Star Wars trivia questions, and I was angry because they were not about lore or world building. They were about, like, oh, this hamburger inspired the shape of the Millennium Falcon. What type of hamburger was it, or whatever? My ignorant, ridiculous self saw that and said, nah, not what I want. It's not what I look for. Really, in any sense. I will say, though, it is satisfying to know that I can get this done. It is satisfying to know that I could theoretically finish this at some point before I'm dead. Keep on having to push the back of the needle against my finger. I don't like that. It's a bit painful. Made it back. Double time. That was too far. Okay, that's enough to get the. It's an hour and a half. Holy shit. And I'll make it 2 hours by tying this knot. How astoundingly sexy of me. ASMR for you. this is just tedious at the end. I definitely gotta put this back to charge. And I gotta go to work. But it could be worse. It could certainly be worse. But I have been very, very lucky in my life. I need an actual platform for this. I need a desk. Sewing platform. Platformers. Ready to stabilize. Platformers. You can hold your sewing or fries. Took me a whole 10 seconds to come up with that one. Real clever. Just the last couple. This is. Sorry, I'm just thinking about stand up comedy now. So I feel like if I did stand up comedy, it would not be good. But I do feel like I would be one of those guys who gets called out for taking other people's jokes. Because I feel like a lot of my gimmick, my appeal as a comedian, if I were a comedian, would be the fact that I imitate and I make languages in the style of other comedians. But I don't actually use their pre existing punchlines. This thing just keeps on. But then again, originality is an illusion. All things are derivative of other things. Nothing exists in a vacuum. All right, right side done. That was painful. That was actually physically annoying. Right, so I think I'm gonna cut it off here, kiddos. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Demon for the Dark Arms, etc. Thank you. Gotta end the stream.